You're idling at a red light, drumming your fingers on the wheel, cursing the endless wait. Ever wonder why it's red, not purple or polka-dotted? Meet J.P. Knight, the engineer who designed the first traffic light in 1868 in London. And well, it was a bit of a disaster. London's crowded streets got their first traffic signal at Parliament Square, courtesy of Knight's clever, if slightly explosive, idea.
Aha, Doodles.
Picture London, December 1868. The streets are chaos. Horses, carriages, pedestrians all fighting for space. A policeman stands beside it, pulling levers to swing the arms. Red for stop, green for go, just like today. But here's the catch, it's gas-powered. And gas? Well, gas has a habit of exploding. Meanwhile, in Cleveland, Ohio, a safer solution was taking shape. Garrett Morgan, a clever inventor, was about to change the game with his traffic signal design. Morgan saw Cleveland streets, where 400+ crashes a year turned sidewalks into bumper cars for real, and thought, nope, we need rules, not roulette. So who do you think stepped in? The railroad tycoons, because they already had a system that worked. Red for stop, white for go. And yeah, it made sense. Until one day, a white lens fell out of a signal. Without that white cap, every crossing turned into a snow globe of confusion. Locals in Cleveland, Ohio, called it the ghost train effect. So the railroads did the only logical thing. They switched go to green, because green lenses didn't just fall out randomly. And that's how the streets got their colors. Because when chaos is literally killing people, you borrow the solution that already works. So the streets had borrowed the railroad's colors. But here's the catch. Those lights still needed a human to flip them. That changed in 1914. Cleveland, Ohio, home of the first electric traffic light. Lester Wire, a Cleveland cop, got the exhausting job of manually switching it every 30 seconds. Think about it. Every half minute, day and night, rain or shine, some poor officer was out there, turning that crank like a human metronome. Detroit's streets were a mess, with over 30,000 cars and no rules. Kinda like a real-life video game without a pause button. The city needed a way to protect people. And honestly, a hand-cranked light was better than nothing. Then, a clever cop in Cleveland, Lester Wire, actually used red and green lights, kind of like a traffic video game controller. Fast forward to 1920. Detroit. The Motor City is drowning in Model Ts. Detroit streets saw a whopping 30,000 cars daily, and something had to give. Detroit cop William Potts was about to bring order to this colorful chaos. He'd seen railroad signals, red, green, and crucially yellow. A warning. In 1920, he built the first four-way, three-color traffic light. Red, yellow, green. It worked. Mostly. But here's the kicker. Detroit didn't even patent it. But when it finally caught on, that yellow light changed everything. Then in 1920, Detroit installed the first automatic three-light signals. No human operator, just a timer, like a tick-tock countdown for cars. Detroit's first automated lights were a game changer, but color blindness was still a major issue, affecting about 8% of males. Engineers panicked. The whole system relied on color, but they couldn't just scrap it. Too many lights were already up. Then a clever fix emerged, standardizing the sequence, just like London's first traffic signal, designed by J.P. Knight in 1868. That way, even if you couldn't see the colors, you could still tell which light was lit by its position. Genius, right? The American Automobile Association pushed this standard hard. They wanted every city to match, no more guesswork. So next time you stop at a light, remember, you're not just seeing colors. You're reading a secret code. But here's the thing, pedestrians. They weren't in the code yet. By the 1950s, cities were drowning in cars. And pedestrians, they were getting creamed. Literally, Baltimore had had enough. In 1952, they installed the first ever walk/don't walk signs. Two little words that changed everything. But here's the catch. People still jaywalked. A lot. Cities panicked. How do you stop humans from being, well, human? Then, Salt Lake City introduced a don't walk signal in 1952, kinda like a digital personal trainer for pedestrians. And yes, it worked. Mostly. Because let's be honest, some people will still sprint across 6 lanes of traffic for a $3 coffee. Morgan's patent. Total game changer. Detroit cops installed the first one in 1920, and suddenly jaywalkers had to time their sprints like Black Friday shoppers dodging elbows for a half-price TV. The traffic lights are gone. Not broken, removed. On purpose, cities across Europe did the same. London, Paris, Warsaw, anywhere bombers might fly. But here's the catch. Cars still needed to move, especially for ambulances, fire trucks, and troops. So they got creative. Enter the cat's eye. Tiny glass reflectors embedded in the road. In 1930s London, they tried Belisha beacons, blinking lights at crosswalks to help pedestrians navigate safely. When the war ended, Berlin rebuilt its traffic lights first. Before houses, before shops. Because order on the streets meant the city was alive again. The first computer-controlled traffic light was installed in London's Tottenham Court Road in 1967. Talk about a traffic brain trust. By the 1960s, cities get impatient. Fixed timers. Too dumb. So they wire the streets to a brain, a computer. That brain, it's not fancy. Some cities still run 1970s-era machines. Big, clunky, and slower than a traffic jam at rush hour. Now, cities like Singapore use smart sensors to monitor traffic in real time, making rush hour a little less painful. Today, it's full-on AI. Cameras, radar, even your phone's GPS, all feeding data to a system that predicts traffic before it happens. And yeah, it mostly works, except when it doesn't. Like the time a glitch turned every light in Denver red for an hour. Today, smart traffic systems like Sydney's use AI to adjust timing, easing congestion, and making commute times less of a wild guess. In places like Tokyo, sensors track traffic in real time, syncing lights for a smoother ride like a digital orchestra conductor. In 1912, policeman Lester Wire invented a manual traffic signal in Salt Lake City, using just red and green lights, a simple start. Then William Potts, a Detroit cop, added yellow in 1922, because, let's face it, humans need a heads-up before stopping suddenly. In 1912, Lester Wire, a Salt Lake City cop, pioneered the first red-green traffic light, paving the way for Potts' yellow edition. Then William Potts added yellow, giving drivers a 2-second heads-up, like a timer on your coffee break, before the light changed. By 1930, Detroit, home of the Model T, had over 1,200 of Morgan's 3-light signals, making it the first city where drivers actually stopped arguing and started signaling like polite robots. Turns out, those polite robots were just warming up. By 1935, New York City installed 12,000 3-light signals, turning Times Square into the world's flashiest disco for cars.